I'm sure that you've all heard of William Shakespeare's famous tragedy, Romeo and Juliet. It is one of his most famous and well known plays, and one that you will study during your high school years. Today, in this short clip, I'm going to be talking to you about the plot and structure of the play and its film adaptation by Australia's own Baz Luhrmann. What do these terms plot and structure actually mean? The plot is the order of events that occur in the play, and the structure is how the text and the ideas have been organised and put together to have the greatest impact. So why do we need to know about them? Well, you need a detailed knowledge of important events or plot so that you can select the most appropriate and specific examples and quotations to use in your answers to questions in assignments and exams. This knowledge also gives you a deeper appreciation of the story and the skill of the author in bringing the story to life. So both the play and the film version follow a plot structure that has been long established and was in common use at the time of Shakespeare's writing. This is called the five-act structure, which can easily be overlaid on a traditional plot diagram. So what is a traditional plot structure? When we talk about a traditional plot structure, we often refer to what is known as Freytag's pyramid. Gustav Freytag was a 19th century German novelist. He was well after Shakespeare's time, and he saw patterns in the plots of stories and novels and created a diagram to show a visual representation of what a plot might look like. His traditional plot diagram looks something like this. You can see in what has come to be known as Freytag's pyramid the five main stages of a plot. These are the exposition, the setting of the scene where the writer introduces the characters and the setting, providing description and background. This is followed by the rising action where the story builds and becomes more exciting. Then there's the climax, the moment of greatest tension in a story. This is often the most exciting event. It is the event that the rising action builds up to and that the falling action follows. The falling action are the events that happen as a result of the climax, and we know that the story will end soon. Then we come to the denouement, which is a French term that signifies the ending. At this point, any remaining secrets, questions, or mysteries which remain after the resolution are solved by the characters or explained by the author. Sometimes the author leaves us to think about the theme or future possibilities for the characters. If we look again at Freytag's pyramid, you will see that there are two other stages that can occur in the plot structure. And these are the inciting incident that follows the exposition. This is something that happens to begin the action. It can be a single event, and it usually signals the beginning of the main conflict. The inciting incident is sometimes called the complication. And before the denouement, there's the resolution, where the character solves the main problem or conflict, or someone solves it for him or her. So as I mentioned earlier, this common narrative structure used in drama, the five-act structure, often used by Shakespeare, can be overlaid on a traditional plot diagram. Shakespearean plays are well known for following this structure. So, in Romeo and Juliet, the five-act structure evolves something like this. First of all, there's the exposition, Act 1. The setting is Verona in Italy between the 1500s and the 1600s. Main characters are introduced. They're the Capulets and the Montagues. And the conflict is where Romeo is lovesick. This is followed in Act 2 by the rising action. Romeo and Juliet meet, they fall in love and get married. Romeo then avenges his friend's death and kills Juliet's cousin Tybalt. He is then banished by the Prince of Verona. Juliet's parents arrange a marriage for her to Paris. She and the friar have an elaborate plan to get her out of a second marriage by faking her death. Part of this plan is that Romeo will receive a letter saying that she's not dead. Romeo receives word that Juliet is dead and never actually hears the truth. He buys poison and goes to her tomb to commit suicide. Then in Act 3 we have the climax, where Romeo kills himself and Juliet awakens from her sleeping potion to see that Romeo has committed suicide. She then takes his dagger and she kills herself. This is followed by the falling action. The friar and the nurse explain to the Capulet and Montague families that the two were actually married in secret. And finally, in Act 5, the denouement or resolution, all families are saddened by the situation and vow to end their long-standing feud with each other. So I hope that this has been helpful in your understanding of the importance of plot and structure in this very remarkable play.